Alright, what is up everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm finally doing my first mock draft for the 2025 NBA draft. We talk obviously mostly about NBA here, but obviously we also have to talk about college basketball. I mean, especially when it gets closer to tournament time and all that stuff and draft time, we talk more about college basketball here. But today, I'm finally doing my first mock draft for this year's draft. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna do a mock draft for every team, what I think would be the right direction for it. We're gonna talk all about it here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Link to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. Alright, so here we are. We're on Fanspo. We're doing the mock draft. We're doing the No Ceilings draft board. Shout out to No Ceilings. I was actually just watching that video not too long ago. And yeah, we're getting into it. Also, I want to say I'm not a draft expert at all. I know all these guys, but I'm not like a crazy in-depth draft expert, anything like that. Alright, so don't expect top tier 100% draft, predictions, stuff like that. But I still know these guys. Alright, so we're getting into it. We're using the standings that are currently happening in the NBA right now. So right now, the Washington Wizards have the #1 overall pick. We're doing the entire first round as well. So with the first pick in the 2025 mock draft, the Washington Wizards are going to select Cooper Flag out of Duke. I mean, I think it's the obvious one right now. He's the obvious #1 overall pick. I big fan of Flag. I mean, coming in, he had a lot of expectations. Going to Duke, #1 overall prospect. He's got basically everything up here in terms of expectations, and he's hit those expectations and potentially even more. Being a 6'9" forward, I just like the energy he plays with. Like he's the #1 overall player. He knows that. Everybody knows how he goes to Duke. But yeah, he still kind of plays like he's still trying to prove himself. Like he still is gonna go hustle for the loose ball. Play with 100% effort on the defense and just the effort he brings and gives. I love it so much because if anybody could have, I guess, a slack off or anything like that, it could be him. But he doesn't. He actually goes the extra mile. So I like that. The athleticism is there. The defensive potential, the two-way potential is there. I think he could be a really good player. Now, am I thinking he's going to be a superstar, top 5 player in the league? I don't know about that. But I do definitely think he can be the best player in this draft. Obviously, the #1 overall pick. And I just think he still can be an all-star level, really good building block to help the Wizards for the future. So Cooper Flag goes #1 in this mock draft. Now, #2, the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans are an interesting one, because they're a team that isn't your typical, lottery or top 3 pick type of team. They have Zion Williamson. They still have DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy. They still have a playoff-esque team. So this one is going to be very interesting for the Pels. I think it's between the two Rutger guys, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, for this team. And I'm going to give them Dylan Harper from Rutgers, the son of Ron Harper. I just think I just really love the way Dylan Harper plays. He's been probably my favorite player to watch. I had a 6'6" big guard. That the lefty can get to the rim and score. The shot is there. Defensively, he's really solid. Can play make. Like I just like the potential of Dylan Harper. Like the concept and the thinking of what Dylan Harper can be, I really really like. And I think for the Pelicans, he could be really big. Maybe him, Trey, and Zion as I guess your big 3 for the future with DeJounte Murray. We don't know what's gonna happen there. CJ McCollum's probably gonna be out the door. So yeah, Dylan Harper, he can play maybe next to DeJounte, behind DeJounte. But I like Dylan Harper there. I like picking a guard for the Pelicans. So I'm going to go with him at #2. #3, the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz is a very interesting one. But the Jazz, I'm going to give him Ace Bailey from Rutgers. The Jazz, I feel like, just need talent. The Jazz need talent at the end of the day. And Ace Bailey is a guy that is very, very talented. At a 6'10" shot maker. Like 6'10", he has probably the potential to be the best player in the draft and might be maybe like the fan favorite of the draft when we get more to the draft process and the casual fan and all the people start to learn more about the prospects. I think people are gonna I think a lot of people are gonna fall in love with Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey, he just has the type of game. I mean, he's 6'10", bucket. I mean, a bucket, a shot. He takes tough shots, but he makes tough shots too. He's a guy that can go out and get you 25 to 30 points, you know. I mean, he's still young. He's only 18, 19 years old. There are there's things about, playmaking ability is there, the decision making, definitely more has some tunnel vision a lot of times, but he's just one of those guys that you just can't make up. You can't teach being 6'10" to be able to do the things he does. Like, despite him not having maybe that playmaking yet, and the defense maybe not being 100% there yet, like, just the thought of having a 6'10" guy that can make the type of shots that he makes and do the type of things he can do on the offensive end, it's just too good to pass up. So I'm giving him to Utah Jazz, because the Jazz are one of those teams that kind of just needs talent. So they go Ace Bailey at number 3. Number 4, we're going to the Charlotte Hornets. This is a very interesting one. You have LaMelo, you have Brandon Miller. Seeing all these guys, maybe a big man could be in the mix, but then again, you just got Mark Williams back. I'm thinking if the Charlotte Hornets were in real life, I want to kind of give him VJ Edgecombe, just because having LaMelo, VJ, Brandon Miller, and VJ Edgecombe for the Hornets, like, they don't need to have LaMelo, so they're not gonna pick Kasparis. They're probably not gonna go Igor Denham, you know. But also thinking maybe they sneak up and maybe they go with maybe like a Derek Queen, or maybe they take a chance on a Kaman Molak from Duke, maybe Asa Newell from Georgia, you know. Like, I think this is a very interesting pick for the Hornets here. Definitely think they need probably more big man and more size out there. They already have LaMelo and Brandon Miller as their kind of two pieces set right now. Maybe they can go with a 2 next to them, and give them maybe Trey Johnson as just another bucket getter. But I don't know how great that would be. Maybe VJ Edgecombe, but he can't really shoot the ball super efficiently right now. I'm gonna give him VJ Edgecombe. I'm gonna give him VJ Edgecombe. Ultra athletic, 2-way potential at the 2 spot. Really, the only thing is the shooting. He's kind of one of those guys where you've seen guys like this in the last couple of drafts, where it's like they have all the athleticism in the world, they have the defensive potential, but the shot is going to be the big question mark. Is the 3-point shot, how consistent it is going to be the make or miss. It's going to turn him either from being one of the most coveted 2-way guys in the league, or from being just a reserve bench role type of guy. That's what the 3-point shot is going to do. But the Hornets, they're going to take a chance on VJ Edgecombe. So now you have a LaMelo, Brandon Miller, VJ Edgecombe kind of wing set. They definitely could go with a big, and I almost went with a big for them. But I think for the Hornets, they're another team that kind of just needs talent right now. And so they go with VJ Edgecombe. The Toronto Raptors at number 5, a very interesting team. They brought in Brandon Ingram. So now you have IQ, RJ, Ingram, and Scotty Barnes. You have a very interesting team over there. And for the Toronto Raptors at the 5th spot, you know what? I'm going to give him Asa Newell from Georgia at number 5. Might not be the consensus pick, but I think I'm going to give him that. The Raptors, they already have kind of a lot of guard play. I think they just need more size, and they need more. And the Raptors, I feel like he's just one of those Raptors type of prospects where he's 6'10", 6'11", long arms, like high motor, energy guy. I really like Asa Newell. I keep saying Asa Newell. Energy guy, gonna bring it on both ends defensively. Maybe not gonna get a whole lot of steals and blocks, but he's just gonna bring a lot of energy and a lot of versatility on the defensive end. Offensively, has a high motor as well. And he's not gonna have to do too much because you already have 3, 4 other ball handlers on the court, so he's not gonna be asked to do much in the offensive end except for just finish, and rebound. So I'm gonna give him Asa Newell from the Raptors. I think that's a solid pick. Number 6, the Brooklyn Nets. This is where I'm giving them. I'm giving them Kasparis, Jack Kushonen. I'm K-Jack. I'll call him K-Jack from Illinois. He's definitely a guy that can go in the top 5. He's been having a great year so far. And the Nets are another team that kind of just needs talent. And for the Nets, I feel like they're just one of those where it's like best player available on the board. And I think Kasparis is the best player available on the board. I did consider maybe Trey Johnson, maybe Derek, maybe they take a chance on Derek Queen or whatever. But I'm gonna go with Kasparis, point guard that can shoot the ball, great step back jumper. He can play make. He can get to the rim, slithery finisher. I think he's gonna be just a really solid player in the NBA. Even if he never turns into a superstar or anything like that, he's just gonna be a very solid point guard that's gonna play for a long time. He just has that type of game. And so for the Nets, they just need talent, best player available. And I think if they miss out on the top, maybe Ace Bailey's and Dylan Harper, Cooper Flag, I think Kasparis is a pretty nice next option. Especially with them not really having a point guard right now. So Seventh pick goes to OKC. It's just like it's insane. OKC is a seventh overall pick. The seventh overall pick for OKC. I'm gonna give them. They're gonna draft Liam McNeely out of UConn. They don't need to take a chance on a Trey Johnson, really. Igor Denham, they already had Josh Giddey. I don't think they need Igor Denham. They could maybe go with a Kaman. I almost consider it was between Liam McNeely and Kaman Malak from Duke. But I think Liam McNeely, he just fits. He's just one of those guys that is gonna probably have a good career in the NBA. He can shoot the ball. He's just high IQ, knows where to be on the offensive end. He doesn't need to be asked to do too much. When he goes to OKC, he's gonna come off the bench. All he needs to do is come on, hit some shots, and play defense. That's all you kind of really need to do. And I think he could do that. So and he already plays for a good UConn team. The Chicago Bulls are number 8. This is a very interesting one. The Chicago Bulls at 8. I'm giving Derek Queen out of Maryland. I think he's one of the more interesting prospects in this draft. He's a center that can do many things. He's not crazy athletic, at least when he looks like on the court, but he can score inside. Great offensive player in terms of scoring in the interior. Hits a little mid-range jumper. He's a solid passer too. He can ball. He really can ball. And the Bulls need some more talent in there, so they're gonna go Derek Queen at number 8. The Portland Trailblazers are 9. The Blazers are so interesting because they're one of those teams that has a lot but don't have. Like they have every position. You feel like you have something where you're like, oh, good, but then they're not good. So it's like I don't really know where to draft for Portland. Do they just go best player available and go with another guard and Trey Johnson when you already have Shaden Sharp that kind of has the same role? Do you go with another point guard, Igor Demon, when you already have Scoot Henderson? Like, do you go with another point guard, a big point guard? Do you go with another? You don't go with another big. You just drafted Donovan Clean last year, so I don't think it makes sense to go with another big man. They're gonna go Igor Demon at number 9. They did draft Scoot, and Scoot's been playing pretty solid. But Igor, from BYU, 6'9" guy that's a playmaker. And they don't really have a lot of playmakers on their team. Scoot has been starting to kind of live it up, but you also having a 6'9" guy that can do that when they had the offensive talent of Shane Sharp and all those guys around him already. Like Denny Avdia can handle the ball a little bit. I don't know if it's the perfect pick right here for Portland, but it just kind of makes sense to me. Especially depending on how Scoot ends his season. If Scoot continues on a hot streak, then maybe they don't go this route. But I just feel like he's super talented. So the Blazers are going to take him at number 9. The Spurs at 10. No, I'm going to give the Spurs Rasheer Fleming out of St. Joseph's. He's been really coming on this year. I really like Rasheer Fleming. He's a guy that's 6'9", athletic, good body, shooting the 3 ball very well, can attack the rim very well, rebounds the ball very well. And I just feel like the Spurs can kind of use a guy like him. I was considering maybe Kaman Malak just as like another big man, and I can see the Spurs taking him. But I really like Rasheer Fleming. I think he's a guy that really can, once it comes down to the draft prospect, he's gonna kind of brace up some boards. And I think the Spurs can take a chance on him. Now, 11 for the Magic. This is where we're getting Trey Johnson. He falls a little bit, but he goes to a team that desperately needs his scoring. Magic need offense. They need guys that know how to score. And Trey Johnson definitely is a guy that can score at 6'6". Guy that is not going to be a lot of rim pressure, not going to be a lot of layups and dunks, but just shot making and putting the ball in the cup from 3, from mid, no matter what it is, the Magic need it. So I'm giving Orlando Trey Johnson, and he falls there. The Houston Rockets get the number 12 overall pick in this draft. That's a very good pick right there. The Rockets, this is where Kaman Malak is going, to Houston. They need some size. As backup, as Steven Adams is solid, but he's older now. And just having Kaman Malak, he's a little bit of a project type of player. He's a very good this year at Houston. 7'2", big body that is really efficient around the rim. Has athleticism. You see all the potential there, but it's gonna take a while, and it's good for Houston because Houston already has Alperen Sengun as their starting center, so he doesn't need to come in right away and be a starting center. He can come in with Ime Udoka, who's a really good coach, really good culture in Houston that already have a good team. He can just come in and kind of just learn a little bit. He doesn't have to come right away and be thrown into the fire like other teams. He can come in and just kind of learn a little bit, and then when it comes that time. So I really like that pick for Houston. They get Kaman Malak. I think he's gonna be a very good player. 13, you have the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks is an interesting pick right here. The Atlanta Hawks, I'm going to give them Colin Murray Boyles out of South Carolina. I really like Colin Murray Boyles. I really liked him last year when I was looking at the draft process. He decided to come back to South Carolina. He's a guy that's really good defensively. Might not be the prototypical size for a guy he's probably going to be a forward center. He's only maybe 6'7", 6'8". No, he does have a big body, not prototypical size, athleticism, or anything like that. But he plays really hard. He plays really well on the defensive end. Could be versatile. Could switch out. Can do that. Offensively, he's going to give a lot of effort. He's going to score efficiently around the rim. Can handle the ball a little bit. The shooting is solid. Can definitely get better. But I think the Hawks need someone like that, especially maybe coming off their bench as just energy. They need defense, and he can bring that. So Colin Murray Boyles goes to Atlanta. At 14, the Miami Heat get the Golden State Warriors pick. And Miami, this could be a really big pick for them for their future. They already drafted Claude Ware last year. They brought in Wiggins. They have Tyler Hero now as their guy. And I think for the Miami Heat, I think they need some shooting. I think some defense obviously will help them out a whole lot. And for the Heat at number 14, they're gonna go Con Kneppel out of Duke. He can shoot the lights out. I mean, an amazing shooter, potentially one of the best shooters in the draft. I think defensively maybe leaves some room for improvement, but he goes to Miami team that could definitely help. He's got great defenders around him, and he again just needs some spacing and some shooting. They've always have. I think Con Kneppel could come in and really complement this Miami Heat team. The Spurs have another pick at 15. That could get very interesting over there. Um, and for the Heat, the Spurs at 15, and they're gonna get Noah Iseng. I forgot how to say his name, but Noah from France, another project type player. But then again, when you're San Antonio, you can kind of maybe wait on him because you don't need him to come in right away and fit in. Guy that's a forward. He's got potential. I mean, great body, great length already at 18, 19 years old, at 6'8", 6'9", long wingspan, runs in transition a lot. You know, definitely likes to get to the bucket too. Can't really shoot the ball so much yet, but he's got to come in and maybe, it's going to take a little while to really get him to develop. But at this highest potential, who knows what he could be because he's still so young. He has a frame and the body and the confidence already. So they get Noah. The Thunder get another pick at 16. Just because why not, At 16, they're going to go with Nick Clifford from Colorado State. Guy that can be maybe a do-it-all type player. Guy that can come in and complement. He's a senior, 22 years old, so he's going to fit the system. Shoot the ball he's not an amazing shooter yet, but I really like his form. I think he could be good. He comes off a lot of picks and screens. He can defend solidly, rebounds. He plays with a lot of energy and effort. And again, he's already 22 years old, so already knows kind of what his role is. And I think that can help OKC. At 17, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves. I was thinking maybe Jeremiah Fears, but again, they just drafted Rob Dillingham last year. And I think that would kind of be like, I don't know how great that would be right there. I'm going to give the Timberwolves Carter Bryant out of Arizona. Carter Bryant is a guy that numbers don't stick out. He's averaging 6 points per game. He's not going to do anything crazy statistically. Don't think of statistics for him. But you think of what he can do as a forward that is a great shooter, plays with a lot of energy, impact type of player. And has the type of game that maybe could last a while in this league. And I think Minnesota, as a playoff team and team with high expectations, they need players like him. And so Carter Bryant goes to the Timberwolves. But I think he's a guy that definitely can rise up draft boards and go a lot higher than people expect. The Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to give him Cam Jones on a Marquette. The Mavs want to win a championship. He's already an older guy, a senior, showing some scoring ability. But now he's also shown a lot of playmaking ability this year. He was playing next to Tyler Kolek, so he never really got the chance to be a playmaker and the lead guy. But he has shown that he can be a solid lead guy this year with Marquette in terms of playmaking, 6 per game, while also being a guy that can shoot the ball, can get buckets. And I think he'd be really solid, especially with Mavericks coming off the bench, maybe relieving Kyrie a little bit. They need some more ball handling and that stuff. And I think Cam Jones could do that job pretty solid. The Brooklyn Nets at 19. This is where they already took Kasparis at 6. They get another pick here. And this is where they're going to take Ben Seraph out of Israel. The best player, one of the best players available. Guy that can put pressure on the rim. Two guard that shooting hasn't been there yet, but he's a guy that, again, can handle the ball a little bit. And the Nets just need talent. I think Ben Seraph is probably maybe the most talented player left in the draft. and they take a chance on him. Utah at 20. I would take Jeremiah Fears here, but they also have Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, Cody Williams. They drafted Keontae George, Isaiah Collier. Like I feel like they have this guy, and they just drafted Ace Bailey. Like it just feels like they already have like so much, so many guys that like Jeremiah Fears already. Like why would they take another guy like that? Um, they do have the Jazz at number 20. They're gonna take Thomas Sorber out of Georgetown. Freshman. He's a big man that has shown a lot of potential at Georgetown. Um, he can score in the interior. He can step out a little bit, hit the mid range. Maybe the 3-point shot could be there. Um, Good rebounder, can play with intensity. And I think he's going to be one of the more interesting prospects in this draft in terms of where he's going to go because he's a guy that has a good game. He can ball, he can score on the inside, the outside. But when it comes to the NBA level, what are teams going to ask him to do? Are they going to ask him to be just an energy rebounder, block shots? Are they going to let him play his game? I don't know. With the Jazz, maybe he can find out what his role is. And the Thunder have another pick in the draft. Realistically, the Thunder aren't going to bring in 3, 4 rookies this year, so all these picks are probably going to get traded. But if the Thunder have to take someone at 21 overall, they're going to take Johnny Broome out of Auburn. Another senior, 22 years old. He's got some size to him, so maybe he can play the center position and big man position. Plays with a lot of energy, solid on the defensive end. Has shown some offensive capabilities as well. And you're gonna go to OKC, a winning culture. He's already had a winning culture in Auburn. He can come in and fit in. And I think that's a really good pick right there at 21. The Indiana Pacers at 22, and I'm gonna give him Miles Bird out of San Diego State, a guy that can handle the ball. I like his potential to be a two-way guy in terms of scoring, shooting the ball. And I think he'd just be a really solid complimentary guy. He's also 6'7", gives the Pacers some more size. So Indiana gets there. The Brooklyn Nets have another pick in the draft. They took Ben Siff, they took Kasparis. They could take Jeremiah Fears here. But then again, they already have so many guys. But the Nets also are a team that just kind of needs talent too. You know what? They're going to take Danny Wolf out of Michigan. Danny Wolf is another, maybe the most intriguing prospect, I feel like, in this draft, or where he's going to go. Because he's 7 foot, but he plays like a point guard. Like he legitimately, he brings the ball up the court and initiates offense for Michigan. Like he did that at Yale. He's doing that at Michigan. Like he can handle the ball really well for a 7-footer. Like it's gonna be very interesting to see where he ends up in this draft. I think the Nets have opportunity where they can just kind of let him rock out and see what he can really do. He's got high potential. And if you're at 23, why not take a chance on someone with high potential? The Atlanta Hawks at 24. I think this is a pretty decent spot. They're going to take Alex Karaban out of UConn. Someone that can fit right in. He's 21 years old. A guy that can fit the Hawks kind of system in terms of he's going to shoot. He's going to shoot and defend. He's been on a UConn team. He's 21. He's been on championship teams. He already knows what his role is going to be in the NBA. And that's to shoot and defend. And the Hawks are going to need that. So Alex Karaban goes to Atlanta. The Atlanta Magic have a 25th overall pick. Again, they need some offense. They need some scoring. Need some of that. And I'll do it. Jeremiah Fears goes to Orlando at 25. He's so young. As a guard, he can shoot the ball solid. He can get to the rim, not afraid to get to the basket. Despite him, he's going to need some time. But Orlando already has a playoff team where they can give him the time to kind of develop. At this point, it's really a lot of point guards left and guards and centers, and not a lot of like wings that can score. And so I think Jeremiah Fears, the Magic just bank all in on offense. And the Nets have another pick at 26. Oh my goodness. They're going to take a chance on Hugo Gonzalez out of Spain. He's a guy that, was high rank coming into the season. Has kind of fallen a little bit. He's 6'6". He's only 18, 19 years old. He can put the ball on the floor. He can shoot the ball, get to the basket. And then that's just, again, talent. Just get talent. You got 4 first-round picks, just get talent. And why not? And the Wizards at 27. This is actually good for the Wizards that they're going to have another pick in this draft to get another chance maybe to take somebody. And at 27, the Washington Wizards, you know what? They take a chance on Nolan Traore out of France. He was another guy that came in with high potential, potentially a top 5, top 10 pick. He's fallen a lot. But the Wizards, you just take a chance on another Frenchman. So you have Alex Sarr, you have Bilal, you have Nolan Troy. You just have a bunch of French people on your team. As a big point guard that can shoot the ball, can play make for others, and just has had potential coming into the season. And why not take a chance at 27th overall? The Boston Celtics at 28. Celtics at 28. They're gonna take Yaxel Lendenberg out of UAB. Senior, 22 years old. Come in, already kind of knows again what's gonna happen. Defensively, has a lot of potential there, versatility. Not afraid with shooting the three ball, pull up threes, can rebound the ball very well, and yeah, he's an older guy. Come in and fit, hopefully fit the team. 29, the Phoenix Suns have this draft pick. A center would be great here, but right now there's not that many big men on the board. They're gonna go Boogie Fland out of Arkansas. Point guard, which they definitely need. Guy that I love his shooting. I love his 3-point shooting. I love his jumper. I love it. Can play make a little bit. Can't really attack the basket right now, but the Suns also need 3-point shooting and they need guard play, and Boogie Fland can come in and provide that. And finally, the LA Clippers at 30. They're gonna go with LeBaron Philin, Alabama. Just very young, 19 years old, point guard. Defensively, can be solid there. Ball handling, can get to the rim and finish. 3-point shot has not been there yet, but for your Clippers, just come in, help the defensive kind of identity they have, get to the basket, put some rim pressure on. Could be another ball handler. And there it is. First round draft, mock draft. Was it perfect? No. And I think this probably will be a lot better near the end of the year when we finally have a good sense of where everybody is, what teams are going to be drafting here. But yeah, this is my mock draft right here. Let me know down in the comment section below some of your favorite prospects. I'll move a little bit so you can see these ones. Some of your favorite prospects. Some guys that you think are sleepers. Where you think your team should draft, and who they should draft, and all this stuff like that. I really like to know. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I really appreciate it a whole lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.